Hello everyone, Sped here, back in with our Marvel Content Champion, and today we're going over the Mystic tier list. So if you didn't see the Science tier list, basically I'm just going to start doing a monthly tier list, every single month with like new champions, updates, meta, that kind of stuff. And I think before I do that, I just wanted to make a little video going over each of the classes, because I want to talk about each character very, very briefly, because there's so many characters in the game. And I just want to make sure y'all know why each character is in the tier that they are. And yeah, before we get into that, so obviously these are all the Mystic characters in the game. I don't think I've missed anybody. And yeah, there's so many emojis next to the characters. And yeah, just what the emojis mean is, so if they have the little star, they want to be awakened. If they have the little arm, the strong arm, basically my arms, that means they want a high sig. And if they have this arm, I just didn't give them the star because, of course, high sig and being awakened kind of go hand in hand. So it just was redundant to give them the star and the arm. So if they have the arm, obviously that means they also want to be awakened. If they have the little skull, that means they benefit from recoils. And when I say benefit from recoils, if they directly benefit from having a bleed or poison on them, obviously that's a benefit. If they can reduce the damage of bleed and poison, with and then they get willpower healing, that's also a benefit. And trying to think of other stuff. And just generally, if they don't really need to use that many specials, they kind of just get that flat damage boost, then I also count that as a benefit. And so the little Stonehenge, or the Easter Island, the little Easter Island head emoji just means they benefit from relics. And all champions benefit from relics, but I'm talking about the champions that really, really benefit from relics. Those champions I do know. And the little shield emoji is defensive prowess. So if you're a really good defender, you probably got a shield. And if you're an insanely good defender, you got 2 shields. If you have the little heart, that means you want a synergy. If you have the guy with the shades, it requires skill, or at least a little bit of knowledge of the character to play. If they have like the little sweating emoji, that's just personal bias for me. When anyone makes a tier list, I feel like, they're inherently a little biased to some characters, and I just want to recognize that if I think a character is higher than they should be, but I still put them there, I kind of want to note that, like, hey, I might just be a little biased. And if I got the little hands together emoji, that's just, I'm unsure of this champion, please help. And then if I got the little thumbs up emoji, I'm thinking about promoting them. If I got the thumbs down, I'm thinking about demoting them. And then you won't see any of these emojis yet, just because this is a brand new. Technically every character would have this one. But yeah, if they get promoted, I give them the little blue arrow, demoted, the down arrow, and new entry is just, both. So I think that's all. Yeah, that's all the emojis. And yeah, before we get into all the champions, let's just talk about the tiers real quick. So trash, basically some of the worst champions in the game. Do not waste any resources on these champions. They don't bring anything to the table that 99 or 90% of the Mystic champions offer. Mid, it's like, yeah, champions who are slightly better. They're definitely not trash like these guys, but I still wouldn't really worry about them until they get a buff. And unfortunately, Ghost Rider's in that tier. That's unfortunate. Great champions. So, great champions. They are your standard Mystic champions. Like, they can do what a Mystic champion does. They do it all right, but it's nothing too crazy. Now, amazing is when champions start to do what they do plus a little more. They are really good champions here, and yeah, they're just really, really decent champions. I would definitely consider ranking up these guys, especially if you really, really like one. The God tier is when you actually start to get some of the top champions of the Mystic class. Like, you got these guys who are able to dish out like so much damage, do so much utility. Like, they are just so good to have. And then the Beyond God tier, these are just the best Mystic champions in the game. They do what they need to do, and so much more. Like, they are far beyond just such good champions. And yeah, this is a very, very complicated game. There could be some times where a character from Amazing does a better job than someone from like God tier or beyond God tier, but generally speaking, beyond God tier champions are just they're like some of the best characters in the game right now. Now with all that said, let's actually start to get into all the champions. So I feel like for a majority, all of these are no-brainers. I mean, you got Absorbing Man here, who's like so OP he can't be released as a 7-star yet, and it's just because like of his damage, his regen once he's awakened. He's a nice defender. He does require a little bit of skill to play with light intercepts, but if you can get down light intercepting, he is just going to be a god. He has so many immunities. The pre-fights are really nice. He can switch between whether or not he does physical damage or energy damage. Like, there's just so much he can do and so much he can counter. And yeah, he's just really, really insane. Also, he's pretty fine in stuff like Necropolis as well. Like, get to that special 3, get that cruelty, and yeah, you are going to be hitting so freaking hard. He's just, you can really use him anywhere. He's fine in Battlegrounds, everywhere. Same thing can be said about America Chavez. She benefits really nicely from a relic. I can't remember which one, but I do have it on her. I think it's the Iron Fist one. Yeah, it's the Iron Fist one. She really loves that Iron Fist relic because she's all about spamming heavy attacks and using that special 2. And holy shit, does she shred stuff. Like, I don't really understand her kit that much. I have her at rank 3 just because I like heard how good she was. But I'm just punching people and they die really quickly, so she must be pretty darn good. But yeah, all jokes aside, like America Chavez, one of the best Mystic champions in the game. There's really nothing else to say. All right, and Dr. Doom. So I believe Dr. Doom is still one of the best Mystic champions of the game. I even would go to say that he is top 3 because there is no champion who has that much control of the fight like Dr. Doom. Like, especially with a relic, like you can keep up the Doom cycle even easier now. And you can just make sure you can do back-to-back special 3s, or if you just, if time's not of the time doesn't matter, you could just keep locking them with special 3, 3, 3. Like that's what I do sometimes. I don't even worry about the special 2 with the 2 Furies. Sometimes if I just want to lock a fight down, I just go special 3 over and over and over again, and it just works. Like Dr. Doom has so much control over the fight, and his damage is also pretty good, and he has some nice utility. He has the armor break immunity, which is really good against some cosmic champions. Like Dr. Doom is still a phenomenal champion, and he just controls the fight like no other. He definitely belongs in Beyond God tier, and I think he's going to be here for a long time. All right, Juggernaut. So Juggernaut is a fun character. Unfortunately, I don't have him as a 7-star yet. I really want him as a 7-star. I can't believe he is released as a 7-star. Kabam definitely overlooked that when releasing him. But I find Juggernaut funny because I feel like he's definitely considered one of the best Mystic champions in the game, if not the best in some aspects. But it's funny because he's kind of just one of the best Mystic champions in the game just because of how much damage he deals. Like, yeah, he has some utility, but it's just like his damage is so nutty that it's like it doesn't matter about anything else because he's just like one special to the opponent's dead. I just find that very funny. And of course, Juggernaut benefits greatly from his own relic. Now, Magic is 5-star locked, but she is going to be getting a rework next year, I believe. So that could definitely change next year. But I mean, same thing with Quake. If your character is locked behind a 5-star only because they can't even be released as a 6-star or a 7-star, I feel like that makes you broken. And she has so much control of the fight, similar to Dr. Doom, where you can just keep going like special 2 in the corner and keep them power locked. Like, I definitely think Magic is definitely beyond God tier, and again, it's obvious because she can't even be released as a 6-star. Tiger is also a really, really broken character that requires a lot of skill. I don't really know how to describe it because I'm not really a Tiger player, but I know she wants to be awakened and she's got the shades. She requires a lot of skill, but she is able to take down so many characters. She has access to Neutralize, which is one of the best buff counters in the game. Tiger is just really, really insane, and she has access to Ruptured-based damage, which only, I think, 2 or 3 characters in the game are immune to. So that's definitely a plus for her. Alright, now we get into the God tiers. We have Diablo, who really wants that recoils just because he benefits from having a poison on him. and he wants to be high sig so he can reduce incoming damage. And just Diablo is really, really insane. You kind of just want to go like heavy attacks and put on your poisons, go for the special 2, or if it's a longer fight, go for that special 3 to stack on more and more poisons, and then race up to that special 2 to refresh the poisons, and you just watch the opponent now. Diablo is so insane after his buff so many years ago. Enchantress. So Enchantress is such a... I can't stand this character. She's so fucking annoying to fight. She is definitely one of the best defenders in the game, hence why she has the double shields. And but unfortunately, the only reason she's in God tier and not Beyond God tier is because I don't think you should be put in Beyond God tier alone just based off your defensive prowess. Like, yeah, she's one of the most annoying defenders in the game. However, I feel like that's all she is. She's just like... She's just okay on attack. She's pretty good in Necropolis content, but I don't think that's enough to boost her into Beyond God tier, and I think she's fine as is. Alright, Kashala's up next, and she wants to be awakened just so she has a chance to reapply the Incinerates, as well as having the relic emoji, because I think she benefits greatly from the Scarlet Witch relic, and she's just a phenomenal champion. She is so good at dealing with buffs, and you know, you can really use her against like any character as long as they're not buff immune, because let's say the opponent doesn't have buffs for you to take advantage of, well, you put your own placebo buffs on them so that you could take advantage and turn those into either degenerations, you turn them into incinerates, or soul barb them. Like, Kushala is pretty darn good at like matchups that you wouldn't think would be in her favor, but she can handle them really, really well. Does so much damage. She is like, you can really use her anywhere. She has some nice immunity, some nice utility, and yeah, I think she definitely deserves the God tier. Yeah, the God tier. That's so weird to say. Longshot. So Longshot is another character similar to Kushala. He can deal with champions that don't have a lot of buffs, even though he benefits from champions that have a lot of buffs, because he could kind of put his own buffs on the opponent with his bad karma. So really what you want to do with Longshot is you want to get to your Heart of Good, I think that's what it's called, with your 9 good karma, and then you can heavy attack to put your bad karma on the opponent. And yeah, then you want to use your special 2, and then anytime you put on a buff, or they gain a buff, or you put on bad karma, that just turns into a pretty hefty incinerary. So Longshot is pretty good against like most characters, and because good karma is also a passive, he can actually deal with, pretty sure he can actually deal with characters that are buff immune. But don't take me at that 100%. I'm not 100% sure if that's how it works, but I think that's how it works. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's pretty insane if he can actually deal with characters who are buff immune. And yeah, he just does a lot of damage, has some nice utility as well. Alright, I'm going to start speeding through these guys. Rintra is a pretty tanky guy. You want him awakened just so he gets a lot of that regeneration, but he's really a big defender. I still can't stand fighting Rintra. It's been so long, and just like it's never clicked with me how to fight him. But aside from that, you know, he could still dish out so much damage with that like massive special 2 and all those ruptures. Sasquatch, he is really just like a big wall. Like, he's a big meat shield. He just has so much health, and that's why he has like the little shield, because he's a really good defender. If you get him high sig, he has a pretty nice regeneration, which should be even annoying. But I'm actually thinking about demoting him, because I don't think just being a big meat shield kind of works in the game anymore. Like, it still works, but I'm pretty sure it's not like, maybe it's not like God tier anymore, which is unfortunate, because I really like Sasquatch. But let me know what y'all think. Should I demote Sasquatch to amazing, or do you think he's fine in God tier? Alright, Shadra, she's pretty new, I think. Yeah, she's pretty new, so there's not like a whole lot to know about her, but you know, she's a pretty good champion, some nice utility. She can counter really annoying characters like Maestro, Serpent. I've seen her do stuff against Enchantress and Bullseye. Like, she's a pretty good champion overall, and she wants that awakened ability. Symbiote Supreme is a character who's definitely seen a resurgence recently. I think Symbiote Supreme is, you know, just countering so many characters that you wouldn't really think about. Like, I always bring up Serpent. Like, he's like the main big boss of the contest, and I think Dark Phoenix is definitely going to be taking that crown soon. But right now, I think the majority of the community would still consider Serpent as like the most annoying character to fight in the game, and Symbiote Supreme handles him really well, and he handles most fights really, really well. Like, Symbiote Supreme stocks are going back up. They took a dip, and then now they're going back up. Hood. Hood just deals so much damage, similar to Juggernaut. Like, you kind of just go like your mediums, and then go for a heavy attack to detonate all those. I don't know what they're called. He has like his bullets. But yeah, he also has access to stagger. He has access to miss. Like he could do a couple stuff, and I think he's definitely worthy of the God tier, just off his utility and damage alone. And I've actually seen some people put him in beyond God tier, which I don't really agree with. Like, he does things really, really well, but I don't think it's to the extent of these guys. But I mean, let me know. Am I wrong about Hood? Would you consider putting him here? I wouldn't, but I'd be down with hearing some cases. And then Werewolf by Night. He is also a really good attacker. He does rupture-based damage. He requires a little bit of skill to play, and he wants that awakened ability. But because like he does so much damage, has so much utility, he's a pretty nice defender. I should have put the shield on him. Let me put the shield on him. Yeah, he's also a nice defender, and also because he does rupture-based damage. Again, there's only I think 3 characters in the game who are immune to ruptures, so that definitely gives him an edge. But yes, Werewolf by Night is such a really, really good champion. Jesus Christ, this is getting really long. I gotta blitz through these. Alright, so Black Widow Clairvoyant, very, very good champion. Benefits for recoils because she can be immune to both the poison and the bleed. And if she's in the bleed phase, she can heal that back. So she gains just a flat damage boost. And I just think Black Widow Clairvoyant is still a really good champion in the game. Just I think these characters do what she can do, but better and more. Dragon Man, he's a little. I think I'm a little biased towards Dragon Man. I love Dragon Man. He's a fun he's a fun robot character who plays like no other Mystic champion in the game. He benefits from having the Juggernaut relic active, and yeah, I think he's just a fun character who has nice control over the fight, especially if you get them in the corner and reduce their combat power rate. Plus, he can go unstoppable and unblockable a lot. He has a slow. He does nice burst damage. I just think Dragon Man is a fun character. He has power gain as well, which can make him very annoying on defense, but it can easily be taken away by stunning him, so I didn't give him the shield. But I think Dragon Man's like a phenomenal character and one of my favorites. Alright, Kindred. We have another really, really annoying defender with all of his degeneration damage and his stun immunity and just all around really annoying character. Especially if you kill him, he roots you and he goes like immortal for a couple seconds, especially if you have him at high sig like I do. Like, Kindred, really annoying character, but you don't really want to use him on attack. So unfortunately, he does not go to God tier, just because yeah, he's probably a little bit less annoying than Enchantress, but I'd say he's more annoying than Doctor Doom in my opinion. But just because he completely lacks any attack prowess, I don't think he's worthy of God tier. All right, Man-Thing. I think Man-Thing's a little bit underrated. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Man-Thing belongs in here? But I think he's a little underrated. He's got some nice utility, and he's mostly used as a defender. Mojo, same thing as Man-Thing, a little underrated once that high sig though, and he is mostly used as a defender, but he's got some attack prowess and utility as well, especially since at full ramp, I'm pretty sure he just if you get a buff on the attacker or whoever you're fighting with Mojo, they just go boom, he just reduces buffs duration by 90%. Alright, Purgatory. Actually, what's it called? Just give her, yeah. I want to give her this emoji. So yeah, Purgatory. After her buff, I hear so many good things about it, but I don't know exactly where to put her. I haven't seen too much with her. I don't know if she belongs in here. I don't think she belongs in here though. But would you consider moving her to the God tier, or do you think her buff wasn't that great, or do you think she's fine as is? Let me know. Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch has definitely especially with that Quicksilver synergy. So that's why I give her the heart, and she also benefits from her own relic. And what's that high sig? What's her name? Scarlet Witch is just one of the old OG Beyond God tier champions, but obviously as more and more champions got released, the more complex this game has. She's kind of fallen off, but I think with that Quicksilver synergy, she can just output so much damage. But she doesn't really have that much utility, so I don't think I can bring her any higher. Spider-Man Supreme, I think, is a phenomenal champion. I think he's very underrated as well. He also wants that Scarlet Witch relic and wants a high sig, and then he could deal a lot of damage. And he has a similar thing like Long Shot and Coachella, where even if the opponent, he wants the opponent to have buffs, but even if they don't, he can put on his own buffs. Spiral is a great champion. I'm gonna be honest. I think she was a little overrated when she first came out. She can really just counter Serpent, and she does everything decently. But I think just like most of these other characters can do a lot more than what Spiral can do. The Destroyer, one of my favorites in the game actually, and I think if you watch my top 10 favorite champion video, he was on there. I love the Destroyer so much. He's so freaking cool, and he requires a little bit of skill play. It requires a lot of intercepting with his play style, and I think you definitely want him awakened at least at Sig 1, because then you got that power gain pause, and I'm actually thinking about promoting him, and he's also a really good defender, so yeah, I might promote the Destroyer. I think the Destroyer is very, very underrated, and he's such a good champion. He has so much utility, damage, everything. White Tiger also is a pretty good champion. I'm pretty sure she deals rupture-based damage. Not too sure. Requires a little bit of skill to play. I know you want to she has a weird special 3 thing where you got heavy into it. It's weird. But I think she's really good, especially on defense if you got her awakened, because then she just gains a huge burst of power gain that's kind of like, you gotta burst her down, or you gotta tank it or reduce her power somehow. Wiccan is a pretty good champion. I think he's like a nice standard Mystic champion with neutralize. He has nice damage, nice regen. He's a pretty good champion. Wong, he requires some skill to play with your spells, getting all that up there, knowing when to heavy, when to, just gotta manage your spells well. He's a pretty good defender as well, and in Necropolis, he's one of your best options. Alright, now I'm just gonna simplify all these guys because I'm actually getting really long. I actually wanted to keep this under 20 minutes. I think it's going to be longer than my science video. Dr. Voodoo, I mean, he's just a really good champion that's fallen off, so that's why he's in great. Ebony Maw, he's kind of just a defender. He doesn't really do anything outside of that. Guillotine, I'm actually thinking about demoting regular Guillotine to mid because I think she's mid. And I'm actually thinking about promoting Deathless Guillotine to amazing because I actually think Deathless Guillotine is pretty good, and also she wants to be awakened because she gets that regeneration, or the lifesteal, I should say. So yeah, I'm actually thinking about promoting Deathless Guillotine, but I probably definitely going to demote regular Guillotine. Isophine, she's an average character. She does things alright, but she's nothing too crazy. Mangog, same thing, but he at least is a defender, and he actually benefits greatly from recoils. Mephisto, he's a great champion, and he has a lot of synergies that can make him really good, but you probably don't want to make a whole team centered around Mephisto, because even then, he'd probably only still make it to here. So yeah, that's Mephisto. Morningstar, another champion who's fallen off a lot. She's got like nice defensive prowess if you got her awakened with that bleed, but just bring in a bleed character and you're good. Sigil Witch is just, I wouldn't say she's as good as Scarlet Witch, so she's probably so I put her 1 tier below Scarlet Witch. Sorcerer Supreme has fallen off super hard. Again, another character I'm thinking about demoting, but let me know, do you think she's fine where she is? I think she's a little overrated. Mordo, I think there's a good spot for Mordo. He's a nice defender with that niche ability, but I think everyone knows how to fight Mordo now, and so I think there's a nice spot for Mordo. Alright, Dormammu, extremely mid character. He has nice control over the fight, but he just doesn't really have anything else. He's a pretty good on defense, especially if you have Awakened, which I forgot. Damn, I keep forgetting to note when characters should be awakened. I'm bad at my job. Next up, we got Ghost Rider, who, man, I wish Ghost Rider was better in this game. I really want him to be I really want him to get a rework. Honestly, I don't even think he needs the biggest rework in the game. I think, maybe just increases his damage output each time he puts a judgment on the opponent. Like, he gains, plus 10, plus 15% attack rating each time he puts a judgment on the opponent. I think he's fine. And then the only other thing is that, his judgments aren't at 100% ability accuracy base. He wants the Blade Synergy, which I think sucks. And I think without the Blade Synergy, he sucks even greater. And he wants that Awakened ability so he can get that other judgment. And I just think all around, Ghost Rider has really nice utility. He has some of the best regen in the game, but he just doesn't have the damage. And when you don't have, when you're hitting like a noodle, you can't really be anything higher than this. And so, yeah, unfortunately Ghost Rider's mid, but do you think he belongs in great? Now that I'm talking about him, I think, I think he's a decent champion. So let me know, do you think he belongs in great? Thorn Jade Foster, again, just a mid character. And then, yeah, trash. We got Doctor Strange, who is so extremely bad. He doesn't really do anything aside from just nullify your buffs passively, I think, when he's awakened. Iron Fist, yeah, he just stacks on arm breaks. That's about it. His damage is not great at all. And to even be able to stack on armor breaks, he needs to be awakened. And same thing with Immortal Iron Fist. They're pretty much just the same character, so they're just a waste of space. Loki sucks, and Unstoppable Colossus is probably one of the worst characters in the game. Like, I don't even think he's one of the worst Mystic characters. I think he's downright one of the worst characters in the game overall. But yeah, that is the Mystic tier list. This one ran a little longer than I would have liked. I'll try to make it short. I'll try to make the Cosmic and Beyond, Mutant, Tech, Skill. I think that's what we have left. I'll try to make those shorter. Try to keep it under 20 minutes. But yeah, I cannot guarantee that. I yap a lot, and I'm actually gonna quit my yapping now, and I'm just gonna end it here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and goodbye.